So how do we calculate velocity? Well, you simply take your distance and your time it took to cover that distance and divide the distance by the time it took you to cover that distance. For Jason, he covered 10 meters in 1.37 seconds, which makes his velocity 7.3 meters per second. For Ivan, it took 1.112 seconds for him to cover a distance of 10 meters, which makes his overall velocity 8.9 meters per second. Now for acceleration. To calculate acceleration, you'll need to get your delta time and your delta velocity. Once you have your delta time and your delta velocity, you simply divide your delta velocity by your delta time. Delta means the change or the change in a value. In our case, Jason's delta time was 3.82 seconds and his delta velocity was 7.3 meters per second. Divide the two and you get an acceleration of 1.9 meters per second. In Ivan's case, his delta time was 4.16 seconds and his delta velocity was 8.9 meters per second. Divide the two and you get an acceleration of 2.1 meters per second. The formula for kinetic energy may seem confusing, but it's actually really easy to calculate. First, you get your mass in kilograms and divide it by 2. Then you times your halved mass value by your velocity squared, and that's how you get your kinetic energy. In Jason's case, his mass was 73 kilograms and he had a velocity of 7.3. Inputting this into the formula gave him a kinetic energy of 1945.085 joules of kinetic energy. In Ivan's case, he had a mass of 57 kilograms and a velocity of 8.9. Putting this into the formula gave him a kinetic energy of 2257.485 joules of kinetic energy. Now for work. To calculate work, you need to find out your force. To get your force, all you have to do is times your mass by acceleration. To find your work, you simply times the distance by the force. In Jason's case, he had a force of 139.4 and a distance of 10 meters, which gave him a work value of 1,394 joules. In Ivan's case, he had a force of 122.3 and a distance of 10 meters, which gave him a work value of 1,223 joules. To calculate power, you need to find your work value and your time value. Once you have those two values, you simply divide your work by time. In Jason's case, he had a work value of 1,394 joules and a time of 1.37 seconds. His power equaled to 1,018 joules. In Ivan's case, he had a work value of 1,223 and a time of 1.112 seconds. This gave him a power of 1,092 joules.